Hey, Mrs. Etna. Blessings to you. This is an audio only because I did not feel like sitting at the table again. Hey, Miss Allen. I didn't feel like sitting at the table again, y'all. I just have been on the couch. And God told me I needed to go live. Our declaration is just keep going. Just keep going. I'm gonna be real. It took me a minute to kind of calm down from that visit or so-called visit at the vet. It took me a minute to calm down, but I'm gonna be real, I was really struggling, y'all. I was really struggling. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with, let me turn the camera on. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with, going through the same thing over and over and over again, and it just gets to a point where you just become so very fed up. Anybody ever dealt with that? Like that was me today. I was just absolutely fed up. For more reasons than one. Listen, y'all, I was fed up for more reasons than one. I was fed up because that vet tried to play me, because the devil tried to play me at that vet. Um, I was fed up because I'm like, Lord, I'm just trying to get some food. And it's like the money I was going to use for food. Now I have to, I was just fed up with all of it, y'all. And, God just really put it to me going. What other choice do you have but to keep going? And it's like when God put it to me that way, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Not take your dog to the vet and you know that, he needs to go. What are you not, what are you going to do? What else do you have to do in a situation like that? And I think that this year, so many of us, and I think that's why my response, why my frustration really was the way that it was, because it has been that way. This year it's been back to back to back to back to back, and it just, you get to a point where you just really get tired of the devil messing with you. Like, leave me alone. Let me enjoy, life. Just let me be at peace. And I was sitting here and I'm gonna be real, even with God telling me not to be frustrated, I was still frustrated for literally like an entire hour, y'all. I'm gonna be real. I was mad. I was pretty upset. I was pretty heated. Not at God, but just at the circumstance, just at the devil. But when God put it to me that way, it's like, what other choice do we really have? Right? And I know many of us, what makes it so frustrating is when you've gone through something over and over and over again, you know, it makes it 10 times more frustrating than it probably would be going through it once, right? And so, God wanted me to just give that to some of you guys that maybe you feel that way. Maybe you feel like Apostle, it's been back to back to back to back to back so many different times. Hey, Sabrina, it's been back to back to back to back. Has anybody been feeling that way? Like you've been going through something or dealing with something over and over and over and over and over again. It's almost like when you feel you get your footing, something else happens. And then you work your way into, getting your footing, and then boom, something else happens. And it's like the real question that we have to ask ourselves, because frustration will tell you, y'all are gonna have to excuse me. Come here, Capone. Come on. No, Bella. No. Come here, Capone. Get down. Come here, Capone. Frustration will tell you to quit. Frustration will, tell you to, drag your feet. Frustration will literally tell you so many different things. But when you really like take a deeper look at it, it really is like, come here, Capone. What other choice do you have? What other choice do you have but to keep going? Because 9 times out of 10, the thing that we're frustrated about is something that we want to end. Am I making sense? 9 times out of 10, the thing that we really like and truly are going through, that we're frustrated about, emotional about, you may be sad about it, you may be depressed about it, you may be disappointed about it. 9 times out of 10, that thing that you're dealing with, you want it to end. And it's crazy how like our emotions will trip us up. Our emotions will make us feel like, like we're getting something out of not continuing on the journey. Our emotions will make us feel like, like whatever it is we're going through, it's a facade. Our emotions are totally a facade. And so it's like when God put it to me like that, like what other choice do you have but to keep going? I knew that what God was saying was you can't trust your emotions. I think that's a right now word. I know a lot of times we only want to focus on the emotion of fear, right? The emotions that fear produces. But do you not know your other emotions can trip you up as well? Positive and the negative ones, they can trip you up as well. That's why I tell people, like, if you find yourself overly excited, and I'm sure y'all have heard this, when you're overly excited, don't make decisions when you are in an extreme emotional state, whether it's extremely mad, extremely frustrated, extremely happy. Do you never make important decisions in moments like that, because your emotions, you cannot trust them. Your emotions tug at your heartstrings, and what do we know about our heart? We cannot trust. We absolutely cannot trust our heart. It's deceitful. The Bible tells us it's deceitful. That's why y'all never hear me saying follow your heart, follow your heart. Baby, your heart will lead you right into the pit that the devil wants you to be in. Your heart will lead you right into to sinking into that depression. Your heart will make you anxious. Your heart will have you going the wrong way, and it'll have you fooled like you going the right way. Because here I was frustrated. Like, God, I don't even have water. I don't even have bottled water. This was the money I was going to use for that, right? I don't even have food to cook for Christmas. Not that I plan to cook much. I started complaining. I'm just going to be transparent. I was complaining, and my emotions, my frustration was telling me, no, don't, you're not going to no other vet. You're not going to your old vet. You're not going. But then when God asked me, what else are you going to do? I knew that what he was meant is, even though you're frustrated, you have to keep going, right? And that goes for people that maybe you feel depressed this holiday season. Even though you feel depressed, you got to keep going. Even though you feel anxious, you have to keep going. You cannot trust how you feel to guide you, you know, into the will of God. Going off of how you feel will always lead you outside of the will of God. I don't care what nobody say. Going off of your emotions, how you feel will always lead you outside of the will of God. Right? And a lot of times, if you think about it, when you feel immense emotion, whether it is immense positive emotion or an immense negative emotion, 9 times out of 10, there's no peace associated with that. 9 times out of 10, in moments like that, hey, Stephanie, you can't even like really hear what God is really saying. Think about it. Think about a moment where you've been extremely excited and you've been trying to hear the voice of God and it was like crickets. Could you hear him? Could y'all hear him? I need somebody to respond. Think about a moment you've been extremely excited about something and you go to God in prayer and ask him about it. Think about it. Because you're in an extreme state, an extreme emotion, it blocks you from hearing what God is really saying. And a lot of times what happens if we keep going, even if we know that we ain't heard God, we'll find ourselves in a self-created storm. Now we dealing with frustration that we didn't have to. Think about it. In order to hear the voice of God, I don't know why he has me talking about this. We have to get to a place where our souls are quiet. Think about the times where you've heard God talking to you loud and clear. It's always been at a time